Going to check. I am.
Oh,
Ah, no!
What did you do?
Oh, this is gonna be amazing because they're just gonna see. All they're gonna see is Spyro standing still, and me on the pause screen. Okay, so we're good. None of that happened.
Right.
We were talking about how Rian Johnson screwed and completely destroyed Star Wars.
Again, which I know we've said this at least in one other video.
Oh yes.
But it's still true, and so wait, he was legit trying to make half the people hate it and half the people love it?
No, he was trying to make a like I saw this and I thought, you know, maybe he just misspoke for that report, but then someone showed earlier like when he was first he was a very young director. They asked him.
Did he say the exact same thing?
He said the exact same thing.
Okay, so he's just an idiot.
So like, yeah, that's his belief is he doesn't like, he thinks that if a movie have a bunch of people love it, you know, and both the reviewers and the fans are like, yeah, this is a great movie. That's not a very good movie.
It's an awful movie.
Well, it's not an awful movie. He's like, yeah, the movie did fine. It's all right. But, you know, it'll be forgotten in a couple of months. But you give me a movie where half the fan base loved it to death and the other half hated it. And they're so divisive about which one was, you know, which side is right. And he's like, you got a movie that's going to last for ages. And I'm like, yeah, you got a movie that's going to last by people saying, you know, how much this movie divided everyone and left everyone, you know, completely hating one another.
Okay, you see, one thing I will actually, well, I'm not going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to say what's wrong with his way of thinking is that, for one thing, if you want to do that with a cult movie, I can understand that, but it needs to be a new cult movie. You know, like the first installment of something.
Yes.
He was taking an already established series.
And
I mean, this is Star Wars. This is beloved by people all over the planet.
That bring me the other thing he said in the report, in that same interview, when they asked him, going, you know, how did it feel? It's, you know, having to come into an established universe with like decades of lore and characters and world development. You know, how did it feel? And he's like, you know, really, I didn't take much of that into account. I just did me. I did my own thing. And you see Mark Hamill sitting next to him going, I told him. You have to consider, when I first saw the script, I told him, you have to consider how the fans are going to feel and how, you know, they feel about this franchise because it's beloved. And if you start writing it this way without taking them into account, and then he's like, but, you know, I just had to do it my way. Some fans were going to hate it, but I had to make a great movie. And all the Rian Johnson fan in the audience was like clapping. And Mark Hamill just did the worst face palm of all time, and at that point he just put his microphone down and just stopped talking.
Yeah. Now you see,
so he just straight up gave up.
He gave up. I have never seen a look of defeat on an actor's face during an interview before.
I could say, just again, see, that's another point I was gonna make is, you know, if you want to make a cult movie where he wanted to make a cult movie where half the people hated it, half loved it, divided, blah, blah, blah. But you see, here's the thing. The people who love a cult movie, who end up making a movie into a cult favorite, are the super fans, are the people who absolutely adore it, because those fans are the ones who are going to remember it. These movies already had a cult following, and the people he made hate his movie was the cult following.
Yeah.
So he literally divided. He pissed off the wrong side, because the critics, we all know the damn critics. They've seen so many movies. They're entertained by anything that's slightly artsy and different, because it changes up their boring world.
Which is why they loved it.
Yes, the critics, they're not going to remember it. They've seen way too many movies.
Well, not just that, they're not going to support it like the die-hard fans do.
Exactly. He wants his movie to have the die-hard fans because they're the ones who are going to remember it, but he alienated the die-hard fans. He literally pissed off the wrong people. He did it in reverse.
Well, and here's the killing part. the action figures, the toys, the model, the stuff that, you know, Star Wars always made a fortune off of, no one's buying it for the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, they are giving those toys. They can't even give those toys away.
Again, which pissed off Disney, right?
Well, yeah, it pissed off anyone who was expecting their bonus to come from that.
No kidding. Oh, by the way, on a slight side note, something that might actually piss both of you off, I was looking up the director just to see what other movies he'd done, which, by the way, is not a lot.
No, Ryan Johnson haven't done that many films.
I can see why. And I can also see kind of his style.
Here's the killing part. If he had just done that film as a standalone Star Wars movie, I think I would have loved it.
But here's the killing part that might piss you off. I found out he had 2 acting roles in 2 Star Wars movies.
Please tell me
he was actually an Imperial technician in Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Shadow R Fox, this might actually piss you. This one might piss you off. He had a role in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. His cameo. He was the hand double for Luke Skywalker.
Wait, hand double? Wait.
Yes. Apparently, he was Luke's hand double in a scene. I'm not sure what scene, but according to this, he substituted his hand as Luke Skywalker's hand.
Probably because Mark Hamill was too busy giving him the finger. No, Mark Hamill did not like. I got every attention from Mark Hamill. He did not like that guy by the end of that. By the end of Last Jedi.
Fine. No Star Wars fan does.
Yeah, no.
Well, there is some. The fans that actually do like him are the kids, because remember how much the prequels were hated.
That's true.
I didn't hate them.
Neither did I. I found the worst case was I found them.
I'd like to point out my favorite movie is Episode 3.
Mine was too.
No, same. That was probably my favorite movie out of the prequels were Episode 3. The only one that really put me asleep was the Attack of Clones. But then again, it did give us one of the best TV series.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Attack of the Clones was the only one. I mean, before The Last Jedi came out, I felt that Attack of the Clones was the worst of the Star Wars sequels.
And the Ahsoka movie.
Really?
I never saw it, but the fans hated it for some reason. I never saw it, so I can't speak of it.
I
didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, no, it was the beginning of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars series.
And from what I hear, the main reason they didn't like it was Ahsoka came across as a little bit too immature, which was the whole point, which they got.
What? She's like a 15-year-old girl. What did they expect?
No, and they were like, you know, okay, we understand that, but the big thing that really angered people was they were like, how can he have a apprentice when he's, you know, in several years he's going to kill all the Jedis?
Why not?
Timeline-wise, that didn't line up. Or it didn't make sense how, you know, he would have an apprentice and then one day, you know, he's gonna ultimately kill her. It didn't make sense. Like, people thought they were just retconning it and not trying to keep with canon. You know, this is of course before they announced the Clone Wars TV series and we got to see her, and there was a whole lot of character development.
Yeah.
You know, many of these people ate their words afterward.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Ahsoka very quickly became a fan favorite.
Oh, she's getting her own her own Disney Plus series, which I am looking forward to as can be, because I want that to happen. Apparently, like they're gonna have her as a host, like she's gonna appear in several episodes of The Mandalorian, and if she does really well, that's going to greenlight the Disney Plus series.
Well, I hope she does well, because see, I watched the original. I watched the movie. I know fans didn't like it, but honestly, I liked it, and I liked Ahsoka from the first moment she came on screen. She was fun. She was kind of snippy. She even kind of had this banter with Anakin. It was entertaining.
See, that's what I really loved about it. Was there was the one thing I loved about the Clone Wars was the go between her and Anakin, it felt like a big brother, little sister.
Yeah, no, it starts off like that. In the movie, it starts off like that. That's just his little sister that he always should have had.
And then you see them grow together.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really plays like that. And, you know, she's kind of headstrong and impetuous. And there's even a great scene where Anakin is talking to her. And because originally the Jedi tells them that they're getting a new apprentice. They think it's Obi-Wan's apprentice. But then she's like, no, the Jedi said I'm your apprentice, Master Skywalker. He goes, excuse me? The hell do you mean my apprentice? And, you know, he basically really doesn't want her, is kind of just sighing for a bit. Then he shows off. She does something stupid. You know, it works out in the end. And then he sits with her, and, you know, she's kind of beating herself up over it. And he's just like, you know, Ahsoka, you did screw up. You'd never make it as Obi-Wan's apprentice. And, you know,
may just pass this mine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I saw that one part. That wasn't that towards the ending.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I caught that bit before the movie ended.
Yes, and it worked. So
that's what made me want to see the Clone Wars, because I'm like, I want to see that dynamic together.
Yeah, no, if you haven't seen the movie, see it. It's a good movie.
I think it's on Disney Plus, so I can see it anytime at this.
Yeah, by all means, see it. It's really enjoyable. It's even the plot. I actually really like the plot. It's very interesting.
In that case, we'll end this fall, and then we'll pick it back up, playing as the Yeti Bentley.
That sounds fun.
You say that.